So, first of all then, website. Does your website reflect your business? It's the old scenario, you can take a horse to water but you can't make it drink. So there's no point driving loads of fantastic traffic to a website that's going to let you down when they get there. They'll just buzz off and find another website. Equally, there's no point having a really good website that's brilliant for your business and nobody's finding it. So horse to water, good quality traffic to a website that works and converts. The technical structure of your website is very important as well. For example, they should have things like XML sitemaps, video sitemaps. Your developers should put these structures in place for you to make sure that they get indexed correctly on Google. So make a note of those XML sitemaps and video sitemaps. The platform of a website is important. There's lots of free platforms out there. There's platforms such as, anyone heard of Wix, for example? Yeah, a lot of these free or cheapish platforms are quite restrictive in terms of getting them updated, making them work on search engines, that kind of thing. We are heavily, as a company, into WordPress websites. Everyone heard of WordPress? How many WordPress sites users have we got in the room at the moment? Yeah, okay. Statistically, we've got a slide coming in a minute. They are the best, they're the highest used platform in the world. But because of that, they are eminently hackable. So we always make sure that any WordPress sites, and you should indeed make sure that they're patched every single month. There's security patches released all the time. Make sure that any WordPress sites are patched. Otherwise, you could lose your website. So that's really important. But whereas 2 years ago, Google was banging on about mobile sites being really important, which they still are. The latest thing now is site speed. So there's a couple of, obviously we'll send the slides out, but if you could go to these URLs here and test your site speed and make sure that your site's performing. So I'll just jump into an example and show you. So website here, which we're just looking at the moment, we're just talking to them and they have given me permission to use this slide. Not a bad looking website, but if you do a mobile friendly test, it's not mobile friendly. Statistically, many people now, and increasingly so, are using mobile technology, so it's your iPhone or your iPad or whatever technology, your smartphone. If your site doesn't work on a mobile device, then chances are you're going to lose traction, you're going to lose interest, people go elsewhere. So
you can see in analytics how much traffic is mobile and how much is from desktops. And 20 to 30% mobile is quite low now. More and more people are using mobile.
On my old sites, that's why I got a new site, I think over 90% was mobile traffic when I was doing Google AdWords.
Yeah, exactly. So you can imagine this company here, they're a Birmingham estate agent and their site's not even, and a lot of people will search for property on their phones obviously, and the site doesn't work on a mobile, so that's really important.
What was the place where you can check the speed of the website?
It's
type in Google page speed test.
Yeah, the link's in the thing that we're sending out to you.
Oh right.
Yeah, I'll jump back to you in a second.
Okay, great.
And then you've got, oh that's it there. Yeah, page make your website. It's a Google developer link, but I'll send that out to you. You've also got, what's that moving around there? No, not that one. No. Hang on, I'll just jump into it. So test my website speed. There's the Google developers one there. Put the URL in. It's not working. Good. It's frozen. Never work with children, animals and computers. Okay. I'll have to come back to that then.
We'll get someone to look at it in the break and we'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Children being the worst.
Okay.
But basically it gives you a score for your mobile and a score for desktop, and it grades it red, amber or green as to what you should be, with obviously green being the ideal. The reason why page speed is so important to Google is that Google get a lot of stick, because if people are trying to search for something and it takes time, people blame Google, but it's never Google, it's your broadband connection or your Wi-Fi or the site. So they're trying to get people to improve site structure, As a result of that, you get rewarded with better positioning within organic traffic. Now it's one of the 3 most important factors. Site speed is very, very important in terms of where you rank for Google.
What can you do if it's not as fast as it should be?
Then you should go to whoever developed your website.
Is there things
They should, if you click on that link there, either of those 2 links, it tells you what you've got to fix.
Yeah.
Okay.
Luckily, here's one I prepared earlier. So you can see that they give a desktop and a mobile score: red, poor; amber, okay; green, good. So we aspire. You should aspire to at least in the amber, if not the green. But yeah, the link there, as Mike's just said, will give you a list of things that you should do to fix your speed. So it's worth running. As I say, they'll be sent out to you, but really worthwhile doing.
So I've got a Wix website. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, it'll still tell you how to fix it, but you'll be more restricted because it's Wix. All Wix's platform is geared towards making it as simple as possible for you. So there's an awful lot of code in it. So it's going to be quite hard for them to make it quicker. But yes, by all means, you'll get it as best you can given the platform you're using.
And if we get time later on this morning, I don't know how it's going to pan out, but we're quite happy to do some tests for people in the room if you want us to look at your site speed and your mobile compatibility. So, you know, if you want us to do that later, then that's not a problem at all. Mentioned WordPress here, 58.5% market share in the world. So, as I say, it's an excellent platform. If you haven't looked at it already, you should consider WordPress. So basically, the website, when people come to your homepage, you get 6 to 8 seconds that they're going to decide whether they want to transact with you, look at your website, whether they're interested or not. So that key message, and we call it above the fold. Has anyone heard the term above the fold? Whereby you go onto a computer, you go onto a website, you've got that top bit before you scroll anywhere. That's called above the fold. So in that space, what you really need to be thinking about is these various messages. Who are you? What do you do? You know what you do, people visiting your site might not. Why should I use you? So you might have a list of benefits or paying hooks or reasons to use you. Accreditations, if you can, maybe have any societies you're a member of, or you know, like length of time you've been in business, that kind of thing. Calls to action: give us a call, drop us an email, contact us for a free survey, for a free quote, whatever the call to action is. Invite them to contact you. Don't just assume that they will contact you. Clear navigation, which we're going to cover off in a little while. Good imagery as well. People will judge you. Images say 1,000 words, so they'll judge you when they see your images. A value proposition, which we'll cover off shortly, and sub-branding, we're going to cover off as well. And the use of the word experts is really interesting. You don't have to prove you're an expert. So if you call yourself an expert on your website, subliminally that gives people a really good, strong message that you're an expert, you know what you're talking about. So it's a really strong.
There is data behind that where roughly 75% of people are just generalists, and they just tend to scrap around competing and taking any business that they can. If you identify yourself as a specialist, about 25% of people will position themselves as specialists, and that automatically gives you the ability, just by calling yourself a specialist, to charge a bit more margin. Experts tends to be 4%, but claiming the expert space locally in your area isn't a very British thing to do, but it actually works online because, again, people's perception of you is that there's an expertise worth paying for. And then you get the 1%, like people like Jamie Oliver. Jamie Oliver is everywhere: TV, books, online, courses, the lot. And he's has obviously reached celebrity. So we recommend owning the expert space because it transforms people's perception of you pretty much instantly. One other point, going back to above the fold, we've stopped, I mentioned heat testing, which is where people click on your website. We've stopped doing that for clients now because 100% of people will watch that screen on your computer screen. 100% of people will see that screen. When they scroll down, it goes to 75%. They scroll down again, it goes to 50%. And they scroll down, it goes to 25%. So only 25% of people are going to even bother to scroll down to the bottom of your website. So again, a just general tip: make sure that everything that's important to your business is above the fold. Otherwise, you just start losing people the further down the site is. As I said, we don't do it anymore because it happened with every single client. So,
so just an example: first impressions count. You can see who they are. You can see what they do. They are shim manufacturing experts. They use the word experts. There's a call to action, call us for an immediate quote. Their top 3 margin areas you can see above the fold, the shim washers, the alignment shims and the shims in the can. So that's all been positioned above the fold. Clear navigation, following their products. Social media links, blog.
Social media at the top, not at the bottom. Lots of websites have social media links at the bottom. 75% of people aren't going to get there.
So who are you? What do you do? Why should I use you? Where's my navigation? Nice professional imagery. I mean, frankly, shims and washes isn't the sexiest subject in the world, but some nice, really nice photography which goes on throughout the
But
website.
the feedback he gets from his industry is that site's amazing. Because we looked at all his competitors, and his feedback all the time is it's a really, really good website. For his industry, it's a fantastic website.
The importance of getting your keywords in above the fold as well. Mike's going to look a little bit later on at search. Has anybody hands up heard of Search Console?
Or Webmaster Tools.
Webmaster Tools in Google. Again, another takeaway for you. Search Console, formerly known as Webmaster Tools, is a very, very good way of looking at what keywords Google is throwing up for your website. So, do you want to do that now? Look at Search Console.
I'll do
it later. Yeah, sure. Okay, so really useful again though, aligning your keywords, your key margin in your top navigation and above the fold.
Whoever you're paying to your website should be using Search Console.
It might well be, to be fair.
Yeah. Likewise with analytics, there are 2 fundamentals. Because as soon as you're on Search Console for a techie, just tells them everything they need to know as far as the site speed, everything. It's all there for them. We've just got a quick workaround, which I'll show you in a second. So can we just go back a second on that?
Yeah. You can try.
Going back to what you do as a business, so understanding what you do is important. The navigation structure is absolutely fundamental. Either in the top navigation or the drop down, what you want to get found for has got to be there. Because you're saying to Google, this is really important to me. So when you're working out your site in your head, your navigation structure and the drop down, if you go to your site now and you go and you search, you're into tax, and you haven't got tax either on the top layer of navigation or as a drop down or management accounts or whatever it might be, please put it there and make sure you've got a page for it. Because this particular
Sorry, I have.
Yeah.
because this particular case study, we just kept drilling down with products for this client. And now when you search all of those, it's top pretty much for every single search. And that, we've discovered, is absolutely fundamental, both to the user finding what they want on your website, being able to find their way around your website, but more importantly, you generating sales.
So just with navigation, what about hamburger menus? Does Google read those?
So I've never heard the term hamburger menu. Yeah.
Well, you've got the 3 lines.
We're going to look at an example of that in a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, that's more for mobile technology. So for a website such as this, you still need to have, we still endorse having your mainline navigation and your drop downs as opposed to the
Not on your
mobile
desktop site to have the condensed navigation.
yeah, it should be structured like this.
So that's important. When you're doing this, you've got to look at your site on your mobile phone. So because again, the first people are going to go to is this hamburger icon, and the drop down will tell them exactly what is there on your site, and it needs to reflect your business. So
drilling down even further, if you're looking at industries, which a lot of sites now, they've mastered the keywords and the services navigation. We're now looking at industries. So in this case, for example, they've got 3 industries they're targeting. Again, it might be where the margins are, it might be less competition, whatever the reasons. So food grade flooring, whereby you would create a page, literally, so it's been optimised, it's up there, the top there. So you've got your meta description at the top, your URL there, and your H1 header, and also the text further down, all focused on food grade flooring. So it's all that navigational structure, what people are searching for. So anyone looking for food grade flooring are going to have an easy time finding the website, and they'll get to a web page which actually represents what they're searching for, so hence you'll have a higher conversion.
Again, that's really important because that's a very quick win. By dragging out the client that he wants food grade flooring because it's higher margin, because it's hygiene, and he wants to be in that space and he wants to be found for it. Because not that many people are either in food grade flooring or have optimised their site correctly, you get a very quick win.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And again, if you proof of the pudding, you've got your ads at the top there, and they are third organically, which has happened very quickly over a few weeks. So that all they will do is if they're promoting the term, they'll just get higher and higher and higher.
So that goes back to that navigation structure I mentioned. If you've got the site optimised correctly with your meta descriptions and titles, and on the navigation, if your industry is not that competitive, and particularly locally as well, because Google will know you're local because of your address, then just that structure itself can get you moved up on search and getting visitors to your website.
Yeah. Before we get onto this, we were due a coffee break at 2:45. It's now 5 to 11, so I'm assuming that the coffee's out there. So would everyone like to just go?
Can we just finish it? There's a logical place to end in about 2 slides. Can we?
Yeah,
and
course,
have a coffee then?
Yeah, okay, over to you.
Yeah. So, a friend of mine, Daniel Priestley, writes lots of books, does a lot of research into what happens as far as the internet's concerned. And what he discovered was having a brand and a sub-brand. The most successful companies have a brand and a sub-brand. So Apple being the obvious case in point, with Apple and the iPhone. So we recommend with all our clients, we try and get them to have a brand and then a sub-brand because it becomes your product. So for us it's AIM Design, AIM Marketing, AIM Social and AIM Growth are our products, which we talk about, which gives us a point of differentiation. So again, brand and sub-brand is very important. And the value proposition is based on what is your core offering. So the first thing that should hit you on the website should be the core offering. And for us, it's helping you sell more online more profitably by turning your website into a lead machine. That's what we do. We generate leads. It was halfway down, but we thought that was a bit too e-commerce-y. So the first thing you see when you get to that site is that, and our point of differentiation is that's the video. Very few of our competitors have a video, and we did a lot of research into it. And the perception, people come back saying innovative, forward-thinking because of the nature of the video, which is exactly what we wanted. And then Analytics and Search Console. These are the 2 tools which Analytics we've touched on. Search Console, very quickly, I'm just going to show you. What it does is it generates keywords. So here, on the left menu, you've got search traffic, search analytics. And Google are telling you what people are searching to find your site. So you think you know what's important because you've got it on your website. The reason why Search Console is so important because it's a really quick way of saying, okay, well, I think this is important, but actually Google's telling me these are the keywords people are typing in to find me. And there's obvious decisions to be made as far as those 2 are concerned. So with this particular client, obviously company name is important. Epoxy powder coating is important to them. And it's Jota Mastic, made by Jota. So those words are quite important to him. And with this particular client, he's been doing a lot of blogging, which we'll go into later, based around not what he thought, but what Google actually are saying these are the keywords which people are typing in to find you. That means in about 3 months' time, all this is going to be populated by the keywords that he wants to be found for, combined with the low-hanging fruit, which is what Google says we recognise your site for anyway. So using Search Console is really, really key.